The rugged landscape of Tajikistan is home to a project of immense scale and ambition, the Rogun Dam. Conceived in the 1970s, this hydroelectric behemoth is set to become the world's tallest dam upon completion. Towering at 335 meters, the dam is a symbol of Tajikistan's aspiration to become an energy powerhouse. Its primary goal is to generate a staggering 3,600 megawatts of electricity annually, equivalent to the output of 3 nuclear power plants. For Tajikistan, a nation grappling with chronic energy shortages and crippling winter blackouts, the Rogun Dam represents a beacon of hope. The dam promises not only to illuminate homes but also to power industries and fuel economic growth. The surplus electricity generated is envisioned to be exported to neighboring countries, transforming Tajikistan into a regional energy hub. The dam's construction has been a long and arduous journey, marked by political upheavals and financial constraints. Revived in 2016 after decades of delays, the project is currently estimated to be around 30% complete. The estimated completion date remains uncertain, ranging from 2033 to 2039, highlighting the sheer scale and complexity of the undertaking. To understand the significance of the Rogun Dam, one must first grasp the economic realities of Tajikistan. As the poorest country in Central Asia, Tajikistan faces formidable challenges in its pursuit of development. The nation's economy is heavily reliant on remittances from its citizens working abroad, particularly in Russia. This dependence on external sources of income makes Tajikistan vulnerable to economic shocks originating beyond its borders. The country's infrastructure remains underdeveloped, hindering economic diversification and growth. The agricultural sector, while employing a significant portion of the population, suffers from low productivity and outdated practices. Against this backdrop of economic fragility, the Rogun Dam emerges as a potential game-changer. The project is expected to create thousands of jobs during its construction phase, injecting much-needed income into the local economy. Moreover, the dam's energy exports are projected to generate substantial revenue for the government, potentially lifting millions out of poverty. The construction of megadams often comes at a significant human cost, and the Rogun Dam is no exception. The dam's reservoir is projected to displace an estimated 50,000 to 60,000 people, mainly from villages located in the Vaksh River Valley. These communities, deeply connected to their ancestral lands and traditional ways of life, face an uncertain future. Over 7,000 people have already been relocated, and reports suggest that the resettlement process has been fraught with challenges. Displaced families have reported inadequate compensation, poor living conditions in resettlement sites, and a lack of access to essential services such as healthcare and education. The loss of fertile agricultural land due to inundation is another major concern. Many displaced families rely on subsistence farming for their livelihoods, and the loss of their land threatens their food security and economic well-being. The social and economic consequences of displacement are far-reaching, potentially leading to increased poverty, social unrest, and psychological trauma among affected communities. The Rogun Dam's impact extends far beyond the borders of Tajikistan. The dam is located on the Vaksh River, a transboundary river that flows through Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan before emptying into the Aral Sea. The dam's construction has raised concerns about its potential impact on downstream ecosystems and water resources. One major concern is the dam's potential to alter the river's flow regime, affecting downstream water availability for irrigation and drinking water. The Vaksh River is a lifeline for millions of people in the region, and any disruption to its flow could have severe consequences for agriculture, livelihoods, and regional stability. Another concern is the dam's impact on the Aral Sea, which has already shrunk dramatically due to water diversions for irrigation. The Rogun Dam's operation could further reduce freshwater inflows into the Aral Sea, exacerbating its ecological crisis. Section 5. A question of viability, economic considerations. While the Rogun Dam promises economic benefits for Tajikistan, its economic viability has been subject to debate. The dam's estimated cost has ballooned to $6.3 billion, and some experts believe it could reach as high as $11 billion. This raises concerns about Tajikistan's ability to finance the project without incurring unsustainable levels of debt. Critics argue that the dam's electricity may be more expensive than initially projected. particularly as the cost of renewable energy sources like solar and wind continues to decline. By the time the dam is completed, its electricity may no longer be competitive, potentially undermining its economic rationale. Furthermore, critics highlight the risks associated with relying on a single mega dam for a significant portion of the country's energy needs. A more diversified energy portfolio, incorporating a mix of renewable energy sources and potentially a smaller dam, is seen as a more resilient and sustainable approach. Section 6. Outdated blueprints. The need for new assessments. The environmental and social impact assessments for the Rogun Dam have been criticized for being outdated and inadequate. These assessments, conducted over a decade ago, do not reflect the latest scientific understanding of climate change, downstream impacts, or the viability of alternative energy sources. The existing assessments also fail to adequately address the concerns and rights of affected communities, particularly those facing displacement. A new, comprehensive environmental and social impact assessment is urgently needed to provide a more accurate and up-to-date picture of the project's potential consequences. This new assessment should incorporate the latest climate change projections, assess the cumulative impacts of the dam in conjunction with other planned dams in the region, and explore alternative energy scenarios that could meet Tajikistan's energy needs in a more sustainable and equitable manner. Section 7. A warming world, climate change implications. The Rogun Dam's construction and operation are taking place against the backdrop of a rapidly changing climate. Central Asia is a region particularly vulnerable to climate change, facing increasing temperatures, more frequent droughts, and altered precipitation patterns. These changes have the potential to significantly impact the dam's operation and long-term viability. One concern is that rising temperatures and altered precipitation patterns could reduce water flow into the dam's reservoir, affecting its electricity generation capacity. This could undermine the dam's economic viability and jeopardize Tajikistan's energy security. Conversely, climate change could also lead to more extreme rainfall events, increasing the risk of floods and landslides in the dam's vicinity. This could pose a significant threat to the dam's structural integrity and the safety of downstream communities. The dam's design and operation must therefore incorporate robust climate change adaptation measures to ensure its resilience in a changing climate. Section 8. A global player, the World Bank's involvement. The World Bank's involvement in the Rogun Dam project has been a subject of much scrutiny and debate. The bank, after years of reducing its support for large dams due to their controversial social and environmental impacts, has approved financing for the Rogun Dam. This decision has drawn criticism from environmental and human rights groups, who argue that it contradicts the bank's own environmental and social safeguards. They argue that the bank's involvement legitimizes a project with significant risks and sets a dangerous precedent for the financing of other controversial megadams around the world. The World Bank, however, maintains that its involvement is crucial for ensuring that the dam is built and operated in a socially and environmentally responsible manner. The bank argues that its safeguards will help mitigate the project's risks and ensure that affected communities benefit from its development. Section 9. Balancing progress and sustainability, a delicate act. The Rogun Dam stands as a powerful symbol of Tajikistan's aspiration for development and its struggle to balance economic progress with environmental sustainability and social equity. While the dam holds the promise of transforming Tajikistan's energy sector and lifting millions out of poverty, it also carries significant risks for the environment and the livelihoods of thousands of people. The international community has a responsibility to support Tajikistan in its pursuit of sustainable development while ensuring that the Rogun Dam does not come at the expense of the environment or the rights of its citizens. This requires a commitment to transparent and accountable governance, robust environmental and social safeguards, and the active participation of affected communities in decision-making processes. The Rogun Dam presents a complex dilemma with no easy answers. Ultimately, its legacy will depend on the choices made today and the extent to which Tajikistan and the international community prioritize sustainable and equitable development.